Thank you.
All right, well, it is rare for this guy to step his toes in political waters. He fights battles in the Supreme Court and wins, but by and large, he is just dedicated to running his business. So what does it say when a man of God who sticks to his view of things and doesn't budge enters the political fray to say enough is enough when it comes to Donald Trump? Hobby Lobby founder David Green just coming out in support of Senator Marco Rubio. We have the pleasure of having Mr. Green with us right now. Thank you for joining us, sir. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
I liken this in the beginning of the show, David, to a Hail Mary pass, maybe for anyone but Donald Trump. And it's why now? Why are you taking this strong position now, not Trump, Rubio?
Well, it just seems like it is a Hail Mary. And I think a lot of us came in late on this. A lot of the contestants came in late and didn't really know how to handle this situation that we have. But we have a situation where we are really forgetting decency. It surprises me about the faith world taking on someone that didn't learn what he should learn in the first grade. And that is not to call people names and not to win by a scorched earth. And this has seemed like what we have today.
But, David, how do you feel about the kind of you like, obviously, returning that very type of salvo, kind of, to hear some say, getting in the gutter with Donald Trump and talking about, you know, soiling himself, talking about his spray-on tan. You've heard all that stuff. Do you think that's appropriate?
Yes, it proves my point. When you have a leader that's leading, and Mr. Trump is leading, then that's the way you win. And it scares me because that's exactly how our society is going to go.
So you don't blame I'm sorry, sir. You don't blame Senator Rubio for responding the way he's responding?
Not so much, because I think he's a decent person that did exactly what I think a lot of us will do, and we will follow Mr. Trump in his indecency of calling people stupid and even causing possibly suicides in our schools. Bullies causes suicides. When you make fun of people that are less than perfect, when you talk about people's ears, when you talk about their face, this is exactly what we do not need as a leader, because people follow leaders. And we even see in that indecent people making a couple mistakes that they shouldn't have done because they see a leader leading and getting ahead, and then they follow that leader. The last thing we need in this country now is an individual that leads us by a scorched earth attitude and no matter what it takes to get ahead. I cannot, for the lack of me, understand why the faith world would come alongside someone that completely is different than what we would like our children to be and what they will be. If we elect someone that wins at no matter what the cost, regardless of decency, and that's the last thing we need in this country today.
All right, but I know you're a deeply religious man yourself. You've argued all the way to the Supreme Court for those views and strong, deeply felt views. But Jesus also argued for turning the other cheek. Marco Rubio is not doing that. He is also talking about his opponent's fake tan. He's also talking about his little hands. You've heard all of that. Is that appropriate? Do you think you've put your money on the wrong guy now?
No, I don't, because I think it exactly proves my point. I don't think this is who Marco Rubio is. He didn't start this way, but it's exactly what all of us can do at some point when we see a leader.
But he's still doing it. You know, he's still doing it, David. And to your point, he's fighting fire with fire, and it might help him in the polls. It might not. It's hard to say. What do you think?
I think he's a decent person, and before this race, he has been proven as a decent person, and I think that it's coming back in a way that it's not him. It is not who Marco Rubio is.
So you think it's a mistake? You think it's a mistake what he's doing?
I think it's a mistake, and it also proves my point. We will all be doing this because a leader, why do we follow a leader? Because he leads and he's head. He's head of a company. He's head of the country. We don't want a head of the country that leads us in a way that, to act in a way that we shouldn't act. Whether we're a Christian or not, whether we're a person of faith or not, we don't want our children to emulate a person that would win the way he's winning. Calling people names, everybody's stupid. That is not who we want our country to be, and that's who we're following.